This is Sarah Mikesell reporting for the CattleSite.com, and we're at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and we're here visiting with Phil Seng with the U.S. Meat Export Federation. Phil, can you talk to us a little bit about the latest news that we've heard from Japan regarding the beef import-export situation with them?
Well, I think we're very excited that on January 28th, the Japanese government announced that they would open their market up to cattle from the United States with an age break from 20 months to 30 months, which is very important because a lot of our cattle will be eligible to be exported to Japan. Currently, under the 20-month scheme, we only had about 20 to 25% of our cattle eligible. This will allow for about 95% of our fed cattle that are presented for slaughter to be eligible for Japan. So it's pretty significant what we see as far as that change from 20 months to 30 months. Also, I think you all know that it had a tremendous ramifications as far as Europe is concerned. The French were allowed to export product with an age break of 30 months, and also Dutch veal at 12 months will be allowed. So there were some good news for a lot of people around the globe as a result of this announcement.
Was that true for Canada as well?
Canada also benefited from that. I should have said North America, the U.S. and Canada, but definitely Canada's in that same group.
That sounds good. Also, let's talk a little bit about animal welfare and what you've seen globally, over the past months, and kind of looking to the future. What changes or how is that impacting the export markets and the meat market?
Well, we haven't seen animal welfare impact our markets from an external standpoint or from an export standpoint, as far as if you mean by adversely. We see that what is going on in the animal welfare area is something for us to really take a close look at. I think number one is we all know that most producers that make a living and their livelihoods depend on having healthy animals, productive animals, and reliable animals. They're given the best of care. That's what producers do. They take care of everything. I think what we're starting to see, and this primarily led by the OIE, is they're trying to establish standards for land transport, sea transport, also as far as humane slaughter and euthanasia on the farm. And so they're coming up with these standards, these norms that I think everybody basically aspires to, and also is in good faith is practicing. So we see animal welfare being more of an issue that people are identifying with, but I think as we take a look at our industry, we have nothing but really good news to really express about what's going on as far as animal welfare is concerned.
Sounds good. Let's talk a little bit about food prices and what your expectations are for food prices over the next few months. I've heard from different sources that Easter could be a time where food prices could move higher globally, and I was just curious what your position was and if you had a perspective on that.
Well, I think right now it's very early. Here we are in the beginning of February to predict exactly what we see as far as food prices. As we know, there's been in the southern hemisphere, there's been a good crop of both corn and soybeans. I think everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen in the North American continent as far as production of corn and soybeans this coming year. We all know there's been a record-breaking drought, probably not seen since the 1930s in the U.S. So really the weather is going to be the primary determinant of where our food prices are going to be, because corn, soybeans figure into foodstuffs, but also they figure heavily into feedstuffs, and this of course is probably the most direct influencer as far as cost of food to consumers in the U.S. and around the world.
Sounds good. Are there any predictions, I guess, moving forward, or at this point in time it's really a wait-and-see game?
I think it's more of a wait-and-see game. I think that the U.S. producers' planning intentions are very high going into this year. We know our stocks are very low into this year. So our expectation would be, and even with the snow that we're starting to see that's becoming more prevalent in the Corn Belt this year, that's going to help contribute to some ground moisture. If we have good rains in the spring, this should really be an impetus for people to really plant corn, plant soybeans, and hopefully this will help lift us a little bit out of the situation we're in right now.
Sounds good. Phil, thanks so much for your time today. This is Sarah Mikesell reporting for the CattleSite.com.
All right, Sarah, thank you.